we were talking, weren't we, about the new name of your
Yeah,
group,
Wildflower
Wildflower
in the
in
crack.
Crack, and how much I love it and how the layers of meaning it has. So I wanted to sort of think more about how I present myself.
So one day I took a
Yeah,
piece of paper and a pen and I started
yeah.
to draw and I draw a huge bouquet out of a crack.
I love the change of your name,
Yeah.
of your group name.
Welcome to a new episode. Before we start, please subscribe. Okay, let's begin. Welcome to a new episode. I'm here with Julie Greenan and we were talking a lot and we forgot to record. So here we are.
Yeah,
How are
yeah.
you,
It's
Julie?
not difficult to chat with you, Laura. Laura. So yeah, I'm fine, thanks at the moment. It's actually sunny here in northeast England, and yeah, I mean, I feel better for the chat we had beforehand, to be honest. And we were talking, weren't we, about the new name of your
Yeah,
group,
Wildflower
Wildflower
in the
in
crack.
Crack, and how much I love it and how the layers of meaning it has and the depth of meaning it has. So I think it's an inspired choice.
Yeah, it took me so long because branding is hard. You have to
Mm.
talk to your niche and be practical and one day I was trying to draw a new logo because the logo I had before was designed by a mother. She never understood what I was trying to
Oh,
say to
right.
her,
Yeah.
but I didn't the first know the first things about doing a logo. So one day I took a
Yeah.
piece of paper and a pen and I started
Yeah.
to draw and I draw a huge bouquet out of a crack. And then I had to
Ah,
like shrink it for it to
yeah.
be a logo, a
Sure.
coherent logo.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Uh-huh.
And yeah,
Yeah. I'm going to go back after this and look at it properly. Your logo. Yeah. That's great. I know it's really difficult to well, designing a logo is very difficult, but also I've Jodie's given me a nice nudge, Jodie Day, to get my writing out perhaps on Substack, because I have got one piece or two pieces that I put on Substack. And then I sort of ground to a halt, really. So I wanted to sort of think more about how I present myself on Substack. And that includes, of course, deciding on, I don't even know the terminology, but the overall sort of title, and then a bit of a subtitle with a bit of explanation what you're about and what your
yeah.
writing is about.
It's
And
called
then you can have
branding. It's called
branding.
branding, but I don't
Branding.
like it because I
Well,
feel like I'm I don't know, a corporation.
I
Like,
know, and I'm with you there. I'm totally with you there. The only concern in my mind is that I want to communicate. It's just, I want to communicate accurately
yeah.
what, not in a selling point of view, from a selling point of view, but just so that people know what to expect, really, so
Your
that the
tribe
people,
finding you.
so that I can, yeah,
Yeah.
I can attract the people who would be interested in reading what I'm writing. So that's really just fundamentally what it is, you know.
I
But
completely
I
get you
know
because
how.
that happened to me. Like that's why everything was called childless, happy childless mindset, because I wanted, oh, this is for childless. And now that I know so many of you, it's like, okay, I can relax and
Yeah,
say something more
yeah.
beautiful for me. Not just
I,
like,
and I and I think it is beautiful. It's really beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. Incidentally, I meant to message you yesterday because I was listening to another podcast about something completely different, and the person said actually, and I don't know if this is absolutely the last word on the matter, but it made sense to me. They said it isn't a question of how many hits you get. This we're talking about YouTube.
Yeah.
It's not that the number of hits you get is not necessarily a measure of your success or, your, let's say, penetration into the population that
Yeah.
you're trying to reach. It's you can have quite a small population that follow you. It's a question of them following you consistently.
Yeah.
That's really what you're after.
I'm trying
And
to
I
build
and
a community.
yeah, of course you are, and I think you
Of
are
course
doing
I
it.
of course I need the money. Everyone needs money to live. We live in a world that is run by money. That's
Mm.
why I'm trying to monetize YouTube.
Yeah,
But
sure.
I want a community. I want people to be able to connect to each other, not
Yeah,
just to me,
yeah,
and uplift each other and support each other in the hard
yeah.
times.
Of course, of course. Yeah, and
And
you have a very kind of lively, dynamic presence in that community. So that is attractive to people, I think. But I love the change of your name,
uh,
of your group name. Um, yeah, what was I? Mine's gone blank as it often does nowadays. This is,
yeah,
I don't know if this is aging. People say, oh, well, you're older, it happens to me as well. And so we all get, my friends are the same age, we all get in this kind of communal acknowledgement of, oh, yes, this is all happens when you're older. And I'm thinking, I don't want this. I don't want us to all sort of mutually reinforce that
yeah,
this is owing to aging. I mean, it might be physiologically, it might well be, but I think sometimes we go too far with that and we
when we
limit,
normalize it instead of
we
trying
normalize it,
to get it
and
better.
we limit. It's a very limiting
Yeah,
message, really. Um, just briefly going back to my Substack, I'm not trying to promote this at all. I was just going to say that I wrote this piece on my 70th birthday last year, and I called it From 70. And the idea was, here I am in the state of having reached my 70th birthday, and I am speaking from that place now.
yeah,
And so I'm speaking from 70, from being 70. And it was a reflection on what it felt like to reach this milestone and the idea that, oh, age is just a number. Age is a number, but it isn't just a number, actually, because it's loaded with all sorts of stuff that you
yeah,
can either take on or try to question and reject or whatever. Um, so I think I'd like to keep that title, because now I'm 71 actually. So a year later, I'm still pondering, what am I going to call my Substack? So do you know I did actually? And this is an admission. I don't know if I should include it here, but I put the question to Chat GPT.
yeah,
And it was actually the first time I'd used Chat GPT. A friend of mine who's 40 something said, oh, I think it's great. So I thought, right, I'm going to use it. And I've used it quite a lot since then for all sorts of things. But I put this question in, and at first it came up with all sorts of rubbish. So I had to
yeah,
kind of teach it what I was about. And it was
yeah,
really, that process was so helpful because I had to express what I'm about.
yeah,
And that was
absolutely.
such a helpful exercise.
It's a helpful exercise also because when we talk to people, we talk about this off camera, about how people perceive our messages. We think we are saying something with the assumption the person we are talking to knows what we knew. No. And
Yes.
training ChatGPT makes that exercise like, okay, I'm not saying
Yeah.
enough information, or
Yeah.
I'm not really telling
Absolutely.
what I want to tell.
Mm.
And it's a
Mm.
good exercise to understand that not everyone understands the same
Mm.
as us.
Mm. Definitely. Definitely. Because what it also does, which a lot of humans don't do, it actually retains information that you've already given it
Yeah.
and uses it. Uses it. So you don't have to keep repeating the same bloody thing. I know we're not on camera, don't worry. I mean, on recording.
We are recording.
Oh, I know we're recording, but you're gonna take that bit out, I think. Is that not what you said? Didn't you say that?
Oh, I told you. Is it ironic that you were complaining about people not remembering what you told, and you don't remember? I told you I don't take bits out, but I will.
No, I did remember that. I did. What I'm not sure now is whether I actually heard you properly a few minutes ago when you said, did you say, just before you spoke, you said, I'm not going to put this on camera, did you, or something?
No.
Right. I misheard you then. Sorry. That's fine.
I'm going to cut that bit. So let's keep talking about.
Yeah, fine.
I know when I told you like to fill the guest release form, you fill it with how community changed your life. And that's one of the things I'm trying to do with that channel. Would you tell me a little more about that?
Sure. Absolutely. I mean, I was let me think. It was during or just before the pandemic. It was just before the pandemic. So I was in Spain and I was how old was I then? 60, 61, probably. 61. And I had been trying to find online people or a group or whatever that I could identify with, and also in life generally over years and years and years.
Yeah.
And I never really found it. Because I always, whenever I thought I had, there was always that, but actually they're not like me, are they? Because they've got children, they've got a family, they might even have grandchildren. They have a place where they belong, in effect.
Yeah.
And my places to belong were temporary, they were always temporary. Even in my own family, I mean, I've got 3 much older siblings who all have their own children and grandchildren and great-grandchildren actually now. So I was never actually at the heart of any of those families.
Yeah.
I was always kind of the optional extra. And of course that can have its advantages, but it's not a very good experience when what you want is to have a fundamental sense of belonging. Yeah. And I'd spent years through my 40s and 50s in a kind of wasteland of loneliness. Yeah. And I would join things or be part of things, but then they'd come to an end, so the community that was created would disappear, sort of thing. So and the same with wanting a partner, which I had various partners, but the relationships were not lasting relationships. So I had been frantically Googling for ages, and everything I found didn't fit. And then all of a sudden I came across, as many, many people have done, Jodie's TED Talk, where the red leather jacket talk.
Yeah.
And I just absolutely grabbed it with both hands and thought, wow, I can't believe this. And so I found this community, which was then called Gateway Women. And lots of people will have this story themselves and they'll be very familiar with the story. And I just jumped in with both feet because seeing and of course, this was at a time when so much was online because people were confined to their homes all over the world. So it was very rich kind of content, of people contributing and talking and having group chats and so on. And I thought, this is amazing. All these people who are like me. And how did I not know? It's like a treasure trove. It was like finding a box of treasure under the soil or something. And So yeah, and I was very keen to kind of take an active part there after I sort of found my bearings a bit. I was very keen to take an active part in that. And when people join now and say, I've been looking for this, I've gone through all this time, and they are kind of in their early 40s or something. And I just think back to my early 40s, because we didn't use the internet. We didn't have the internet in my early 40s. But
Internet didn't exist. Yeah.
We didn't use it then for as extensively. We didn't have the tools to do it. So it just didn't feature. And I couldn't find anything.
Yeah.
And I really kind of grieved that loss of time, all those years. And now when someone who's the age I was when I really needed it, when they come along and say, thank goodness I found now what is now Childless Collective, I just think, yeah, I'm so glad you did, because I know that it can be a lifesaver, to be part of that. And the great thing is, community, it's like reaching out and getting support from others, and also having what you have to give valued by other people, because you know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Nobody can actually say, oh, you don't know what you were talking about, I mean, there's nothing worse than being given advice, or I don't try and give advice on the whole, really, but people thinking they understand something when damn well they don't,
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of that, because with mental health stuff that I've had issues with as well,
Yeah.
and people try and tell you what to do for the best, and you just think, you don't know, do you?
I relate so much to the.
Sorry, Laura, it's a very long answer.
It's okay, but I relate really strong to the not belonging.
Yeah.
And when I found the online community for childless, especially, not just single, it was like, oh my God, here is my tribe.
Definitely.
And the advice part, I have anxiety and agoraphobia, and so between that and the childlessness and the singleness is like,
Yeah.
you should do this, and you don't know what I've been through, why I have these labels. So yeah, and in the childless community, not just the childless collective, but as a whole, I feel we don't really give advice. We
No.
support each other. It's more like I see you. I see you,
Absolutely.
I'm here with you.
Mm.
And that's what I needed all along. I didn't need the fixing.
Absolutely. And I some people now, when they kind of want to help me, and I mean in things in general, not just about emotional things, I notice now they will preface what they say with, you probably already know this. And I think, yeah, I do actually. But anyway, I take your concern. I like your interest and that you are concerned. And I can accept it and hear it, because you've initially given me the credit for knowing a bit
Yeah,
already. Yeah.
absolutely. I think that little sentence is so important to how we receive that message.
Definitely. Definitely.
Or can
Yeah.
I ask you a question? Why don't you adopt? I don't get it. Not like, why don't you adopt? It's a
Yeah,
different
it
setup for the
is.
same question.
Totally. Totally. Yeah. Yeah. It is, so much is about how we put these things across. And it takes a bit of time and reflection to think about, how shall I ask this question?
Yeah.
How should I kind of acknowledge that the other person has already given it it's likely they've given it a lot of thought. They've possibly taken a few steps towards whatever it is, and they know something, you know.
Yeah.
So it's curiosity, I think, isn't it? It needs to come from a place of curiosity and kindness, really.
I think that there's so much message about internet being bad and rotting your brain. But when you use it with intention, you can get this kind of stuff that like
Mm-hmm.
more comprehension on how to deliver a message and curiosity about others' lives and community.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's just like any
Mm-hmm.
other tool. Like you won't try to unscrew a screw with a hammer.
That's
So
right.
the right way to use a hammer is to hammer a nail, not a screw. So internet can be like that.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a really good analogy. Yeah. Yeah, of course. And you know, just briefly going back to the finding the Childless Community Gateway Women, and it became Lighthouse Women, as you know, I think after that, and
Yeah.
now it's Childless Collective. And um, you know, the contacts that I have are with people all over the world because of that. And also I have friends who are not in this immediate area. I mean, I was in Spain anyway, most of the time that I was sort of building, you know, my involvement, my contact with the community. But the friends, I made those friends through that community. And they are kind of fast friends, as we say, you know,
Yeah.
they're
The
I mean, for
bond
me,
is
the
built
bond,
quickly.
yeah, there's a strong bond. Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. And it's you know, meeting up with people. I remember because there are one or two groups nearby, well, not nearby, but not too far away from where I live now. And the way that you can go and join a group and go for a coffee or a walk or whatever, and that there's just something that it's difficult to explain. It's so easy because you're not nervous for a start, as you might be with new people in general,
Yeah.
that you're going to have to guard yourself against hurt or, you know, the micro attacks of micro jabs of little
Yeah.
stuff that people say about their families or their children. And there's just a much greater ease about that. Because we know already, you know, we know already some of the deeper things about each other that we don't have to establish all that because it's known.
Yeah, and since we went through grief or we are still feeling grief, we are more
Mm-hmm.
respectful of the pain of
Mm-hmm.
others, even if
Yeah,
it's not the pain of being childless.
yeah, absolutely.
I think
Mm-hmm.
that being childless gave me more empathy.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Yeah, I think it's true. Yeah, suffering and loss, and it can work the other way around, can't it, as well? So if you get into, you know, a bit more depth in a conversation with a stranger, you can tell the people who've experienced
Yeah,
loss,
yeah,
because loss is loss. It's it's the differences are a question of context, really, because loss and grief are loss and grief. They're just universal, I think.
yeah, absolutely.
And and it's the way people listen also, isn't it? That yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so this is all kind of slightly painful. You know, I kind of bump up against things and think, ouch, I didn't like that, bumping up against that. So I need to avoid that nail sticking out of the wall, you know, next time. It can be quite a painful process learning where it's okay for you and where it's not. And I think where I am now is it's quite it kind of all hit me a bit last week. And I was driving back from a few days away, and there were things that had sort of triggered thoughts and feelings about the past. And I found myself in floods of tears, crying with grief. And it was sort of like my eyes had been opened to stuff about my mother, which nothing to do with childlessness, but suddenly seeing that the way that I've tried to be really tough and not given myself enough compassion. And I can't remember how I arrived at this, why I'm telling you this at this moment, but something, there was a link. And yeah, just that really, just that I think it's the other side, isn't it? I suppose it's the other side of wanting people to be compassionate towards us, and it's having the compassion towards ourselves.
Yeah.
And I, at 71, I think, oh God, I need to learn this quick, I need to get on with it, which is pointless. It's pointless thinking like that. It's just I quite like the opportunity to go around again with what I know now, go around the lifetime again.
I don't know if
And be a bit kinder to myself this time.
I don't know if I would like have a rerun of my life. It's good now, but I wouldn't like to relive a lot of things.
No, no, but you see, I mean, it's totally ridiculous what I'm saying, but
But
it's just,
we humans fantasize about those kind of stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
because the thing is, you see, the condition would be, well, I'll go around it again, knowing what I know now. So it wouldn't be like it was. It'd be just perfect because I'd know everything then. And I wouldn't make all those mistakes.
But you wouldn't be you.
No, that's true. I'd be unrecognizable. But don't you think that's a really hard thing to accept yourself in all your kind of imperfection and mistakes and, screwing it up? And when you look back, God, I made the mess of that. And
Yeah.
it's really,
It's hard. Yeah. But I don't know. I keep trying. I keep trying
mm,
because
mm, mm,
what else can I do?
sure. Absolutely. Yeah.
Like I know I could be resentful to the world and to
Mm,
everyone and
mm, mm,
but yeah, I tried to okay, you did the best you could what
mm,
the knowledge and the pain you had in that moment.
mm, yeah, of course. Of course. And I have to sort of continually remind myself of that, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
me
that
too.
and that actually helps me to be a bit kinder to other people as well.
Yeah,
You know, that we can only know what we know. I mean, I'm not going to talk about politics, but this same younger friend of mine who mentioned Chat GPT, we were talking about the recent protests and the general situation worldwide about protesting and demonstrations and what standpoint you take and so on. And she said something to me, and it was really food for thought because she said, Julie, you are highly educated, and you've also made it your business to learn a lot. But she said that doesn't apply to a lot of people. I
yeah,
think I was probably ranting and saying, how can they be so stupid in some cases, And so that was quite a wake up call, really. Like,
yeah,
give, be a bit kinder, be a bit more compassionate. Um, and nobody's perfect, sort of thing. Yeah.
yeah. I
Yeah.
think it's easy between quotes. It's easy to complain about people not knowing this or that.
Mm,
at the same time, like if I had kids, I wouldn't know the childless existence at
Mm.
all because I would be
That no.
blind to that.
Mm. Mm.
So I
Yeah.
take that, and I it's not a something that it comes easily. Sometimes I got up in the why did that person behave like that?
Mm.
And then I
Mm.
remember that, and it's like, okay, maybe in
Mm.
their world this hasn't come up, or they
Mm.
are going through things that I don't even know.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And I think, you know, if age has helped me in any way, which it has, but I think one of the ways is realizing that, where years ago I would hear someone say, "Oh, it's not only you that's got problems," and that's such a harsh way of putting it.
Yeah.
So, why are you being so self-indulgent? What do you expect me to say? Everybody's got problems. Whereas now I can see for myself more clearly that everyone's got problems and that nobody's situation is perfect. And that's so much better a way to come to it through your own realization.
Yeah.
Because,
But because
yeah,
also the when someone tells you like everybody got problems, it's a gaslighting way to tell you like shut up and don't complain, and
of
it
course it is.
minimizes your pain
Of course
instead
it
of
is horrible. It's horrible.
I
Yeah.
understand you're hurting.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe
Exactly.
like we said yes before, the how we put the message really
Mm,
matters. It's so
exactly.
dismissal that everybody has problems.
Mm,
I don't
mm.
care about everybody. I care about
No.
myself and my pain. And it sounds super selfish, but
Yeah.
it's the brain operated system for everyone, even
Mm,
animals.
mm,
It's like I'm
mm,
in pain. I don't care about you.
Of course. Yeah. Of course. Absolutely. Yeah.
When we are feeling better and we started healing from that, we
Mm,
can look outside and say, oh, maybe I can
mm,
help that person.
mm,
But in the moment, like your pain, when I'm suffering like hell,
mm,
I can't see your pain.
mm,
It's,
mm. No, exactly. Which is quite normal. It's totally normal, isn't it?
I think it's
When
it's
I'm
it's animal. It's not even,
exactly.
yeah.
Yes, yes, exactly. It is. It is. Of course it is. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Okay.
Love, is there anything else you want to say, to share before we finish?
Um, I want to say thank you to you, Laura. I was thinking when I was rushing back earlier on, having picked up my car that had broken down and had been repaired, and that's when I get into oh God, there's so much to do when there's only one of you and nobody else is going to step in, and my usual sort of thing. And quite often I'm tearful when that happens. I can't really take it very easily. I'm not very resilient to those things. And I was thinking about our chat, a forthcoming chat, and I was thinking, I want to remember to say thank you to Laura because being invited to tell your story and to somebody saying, I'm interested in hearing you, I'm
Yeah.
interested in a conversation with you, and maybe other people will also be interested. That's such a gift, really is a gift. And part of the reason for that is because it's that thing of what's acceptable, what the world thinks acceptable. So, the world may be bored by it, but it's acceptable for someone to rant on about their child's graduation, for example.
Yeah.
But there's not always so much interest in the life of a single childless person because people don't know what questions to ask. They know the usual stuff that they can get into conversation as easily as anything with someone else who's got children. So the net result is that we don't often get asked about ourselves unless we've done something stunning that makes everyone sit up and take notice.
Yeah.
I remember when I first went to Spain and I was lodging with Jose in Madrid, and I hadn't met him until the day I turned up at his front door to live with him. And very soon after that, we sat down together in the kitchen, and he said, and his English wasn't great at the time, and I was very much still learning Spanish. He said, "Tell me about yourself. Tell me about your life." And he was really interested, and he was a good listener. And I just found that profoundly life-giving, really meaningful, because he's a fair bit younger than me, So I don't know. I think he thought it was a bit weird to start with that this 59-year-old woman had come to Spain on her own for this adventure and was suddenly living in his house with him, so in his flat. But anyway, no, I'm detracting from it there because it was a really meaningful thing, and that he showed that. So I think, getting around to the end of my long answer, I want to say thanks for inviting me.
One is my pleasure, and two, that happens to me too. I felt that nobody wanted to hear my side, my story, to notice me. So it's another thing. I'm trying to be the person I needed to for myself.
That's wonderful.
And it has led me to so many friendships and interesting conversations that is like, oh my God, I found something that I love.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Laura.
And thank you, because even if I ask you to be my guest and you say, no, I don't want to, you are also kind of taking the possibility of me listening to you. So it takes the two of us to do this.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening, Happy Childless Mindset podcast. If this conversation spoke to you, subscribe and share it. And if you like more support, come join me inside Wildflower in the Crack, our space for childless not by choice women to heal and grow together.